Welcome back to The Takeout. Voters in California are deciding on whether the state can and will redraw its congressional district maps. The effort has been spearheaded by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom. Could help Democrats flip as many as 5 House seats, 4 for sure, the 5th a little bit more iffy. And it's in a direct response to what Texas did, redrawing its map to create maybe 5 more seats for Republicans there. I want to bring in our Nidia Cavazos, who joins us from Sacramento. Nidia, we just have some brand new exit poll data from California I want to share with you and the audience. If we bring it up, control room, there you see it. 49% of Californians in the exit poll data angry, 24% dissatisfied. It's always perilous for me to do mathematics on live television, but that's 73%, either angry or dissatisfied, 18% satisfied, 9% enthusiastic. So the backdrop for this proposition question is people want to vent some of that anger, it appears.
Major, and that's exactly right, because this is how Democrats on the ground have been campaigning for Proposition 50 and those supporters of this ballot measure. They've been presenting this to voters and making their pitch as a referendum on President Trump. They say this is about saving democracy, and we've heard the field organizers pitch to voters asking them, if you're dissatisfied with what you've seen of President Trump's administration since he took office, then this is your opportunity to voice that disapproval for President Trump, his policies, especially with everything that we saw going on with immigration across LA. But of course, the opponents to Proposition 50 say, wait a minute, this isn't about President Trump here, and this is about California, defining the lines and making sure that these congressional maps remain out of the hands of politicians and that they remain with the Redistricting Commission here in California. But we've heard it from Democratic voters on the ground, and for the past 2.5 months, it first started off as we don't exactly know what Proposition 50 is. Some of them didn't know that there was a special election, but then they switched their minds, and then we began hearing on the ground, they would say, you know, we're not necessarily for redrawing these maps, but if this is an opportunity to vote against President Trump, then we will vote for Prop 50.
And it's a quick reminder for the audience that in 2010, Californians voted to create the commission, the bipartisan commission on redistricting, by 61%, sizable bipartisan majority. That is now being reevaluated in the context of Texas, and Trump ordered redistricting efforts around the country. So this is, as you indicated, Nidia, about California, about its process, but also about a direct response to President Trump and his political maneuvering outside of California.
And that's exactly right. Governor Gavin Newsom has said that California engaged in redistricting efforts, redrew their maps, and it was all in direct response to Texas after President Trump pushed Texas to do so. Now, Texas redrew their maps in the hopes of picking up 5 seats for Republicans, so California went ahead and did the same with Democrats. But of course, it's important to note here that this isn't 100% guarantee that both Dems and Republicans will pick up these seats in Texas and in California.
Nidia Cavazos, I appreciate it. Thank you so very much, coming to us from Sacramento. Joined now by Republican strategist Danielle Alvarez. She served as a senior advisor on the Trump 2024 campaign. Always good to see you, Danielle. Thanks for your time. What are you watching for tonight? What Republican silver lining might there be?
Well, I think that the point that we are having a conversation about blue states like New Jersey and Virginia potentially being at play just shows the way that the political landscape has changed over the last several elections. It shows what president has done across the country overall. Again, New Jersey is a deep blue state. It is a state that does voter registration along party lines, and Democrats have a voter registration advantage of about 860,000, according to recent data in August of 2025. Of course, Virginia does not do party-affiliated voter registration. These are going to be tough races, but our candidates are working incredibly hard. And of course, we encourage all of the viewers watching tonight who are in those states and in states holding elections across the country to make a plan and cast their ballot and stay in line if they are in line. Make sure that they vote.
Danielle, to what degree is it surprising to you that President Trump, given ample opportunities, has not said the words, "I endorse Winsome Earl Sears, the Republican nominee for governor in the Commonwealth of Virginia"?
The president has made critical endorsements throughout these elections. You are absolutely right. He has not come out and endorsed Winsome Sears. I don't want to read too much or put words into the president's mouth, but from my own perspective, the Republican candidate in Virginia did not endorse the president up until Election Day in 2024. She certainly has an uphill race, but she is working hard. And so, again, this is going to be a tough election, but she is out there working hard to try to win in the Commonwealth.
You mentioned New Jersey. Jack Ciattarelli came surprisingly close to Phil Murphy 4 years ago. This is his third bid for the governorship in New Jersey. Do you think he can pull it out? Do you think he will?
I think he's a great candidate. I think he has run a very smart campaign. He's talked about issues that really matter to New Jersey, talked a lot about affordability. Of course, he is just across the river from New York City, where we are seeing Democrat on Democrat violence between Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani. Of course, having a Marxist like Zohran Mamdani just across the river could possibly be helpful to Jack Ciattarelli. I think it's going to be really close. I wouldn't necessarily, looking ahead towards the data of the elections, compare this cycle necessarily to 2021. Obviously, Biden had just taken the White House at that time. I would look at 2027. But of course, coming within a few points, putting New Jersey on the map, making it an election that we are talking about, I think speaks volumes to Jack Ciattarelli and the campaign that he has run.
Danielle Alvarez, I appreciate your perspective. As always, thanks so much for joining us.